This repair shop in China adds more VRAM to GPUs, including creating models that don't even officially exist, like the 48GB RTX 4090. We previously visited them as part of another video, but today we're finally publishing our full tour of Brother John's repair shop. This is Zhang Ge at his repair shop, and when we asked him which video card is the most difficult to repair, he said this.
What's the hardest card he's ever repaired? Like personally 自己的。
你修过最难修的卡，型号是哪一？
最难的型号？
最难修的卡。
你自己修的。
我感觉没有哪个最难修啊，没有什么印象没有那么深刻。
没有卡可以难到你这样子。
或者像我们。
This shop keeps video cards alive. Rather than just throw away broken boards, people all over China send video cards to Zhang Ge's repair shop. And this shop makes use of everything. Broken PCBs can be harvested for GPUs, memory, and MOSFETs. Even the thermal pads can find a recycled use.
这么多，
对，这上面都是拆下的旧电子。
Zhang Ge is famous for his Bilibili channel, sort of in the same way Rossmann Repair became famous, and now their shop is completely packed to the ceiling with video cards from customers.
这些客户发过来的，像这些，这全部各种型号，什么5080啊，是吧？还有什么各种各样的都有。是吧？无论老啊、新啊、旧啊，都是这样的。
Repairs here can be anything as simple as replacing a capacitor to as complicated as literally extracting a GPU and memory and transplanting them onto a new, fully custom PCB made nearby. But if you ask Brother John, he says even that is easy.
4090 48G 的，就是从24G 就是转变成48G 的过程，我可以展示给你。来，前进。
John's repair shop shows a culture of ingenuity and resourcefulness around electronics. Because the video cards are made in China, it's relatively easy for them to get brand new, blank replacement PCBs. They even get the schematics. We've previously shown places like Shenzhen SCGE Market, where you can buy any electronic part you want. For this shop, we're traveling 6 hours north from Shenzhen by comfortable high-speed rail, arriving about 1,000 miles away, or 1,600 kilometers, in Zhengzhou, China, to finally take the full tour of Brother John's repair shop. In addition to never-before-seen footage of the rest of his shop, we'll also show once again the process of hand-making a custom 48GB RTX 4090, doubling the VRAM capacity on top of what NVIDIA officially sells. Because of our supporters from our Kickstarter-style campaigns, we hit a stretch goal to fulfill the request of releasing a full, separate video on Zhang Ge's repair shop. Let's get into it. Before that, this video is brought to you by Arctic and the Freezer 36 air cooler. We previously reviewed the Arctic Freezer 36 and were overall impressed by its mechanical build quality and design, with thermal performance also overall comparable with similar coolers on the market. The Freezer 36 performed well in our benchmarks and analysis with its dual fan solution, 4 direct contact heat pipes, and thicker fin stack centrally. Learn more at the link in the description below. Alright, so we are at John's repair shop. He's up there right now working on GPUs. You can see him in the blue vest. We're gonna go in and work with him on 48 gig 4090s.
Hey, 你好。
这是实体放的。
你好。
这是 Tan。
你好，你好。
这是 Raymond。
你好。
翻译的。We have a really cool project today. So we are working with a repair shop in Zhengzhou in China to make a 48GB 4090. So they're gonna do all the hard work. This is what they have. They work on a lot of GPUs. This is Zhang Ge's the repair shop, and we'll link that below. So they've got a YouTube channel, they have a Bilibili channel, and they just repair tons of GPUs, typically about 40 a day, and that includes custom making 4090s. So the 4090 SKU is 24 gigabytes, but there's a custom 48 gig SKU, and they basically rip everything off a board and transplant it. We're gonna see that process, really cool. But first we're gonna do a run around the shop. So let's start with some of the test stations. So over here they have, let's see, what looks like 6 individual test benches set up. So each one's a board, power supply, CPU, all that stuff. The only part that matters though is the GPUs. And so they're running a couple different game tests. They use Black Myth. Sometimes they use 3D Mark, FurMark, and this is where they test the cards that have gone through the repair process. So this is the repair history of the card And the card we're gonna look at later is a 4090 that has been repaired, I think 5 or 6 different times, and it works. But the problem is it's been repaired 5 or 6 times, and so they're worried that at some point some other part will fail. And so it makes the most sense for them to rip the GPU off and put it onto another board, a custom board.
就是说，客人修好的显卡全部要在这里压力测试2天到3天左右。
所以你们一天多少显卡测试？
一天我们大概最少要50张吧，50张最少。
50。
对对对。
OK， 这么多。
对，像这种4090
啊，
像这种5090
啊，
是吧？这都是在排队测试的。
所以大部分的都是 NVIDIA 的吗？NVIDIA 吗？
大部分是，但是有 AMD 的还有。
OK。
都有，一般都是69、68、79，
OK，
还有6700，对，旧的显卡。
OK。
对，都是已经大部分都过保了嘛。
So the older cards.
Yeah, just like past warranty.
Past warranty AMD cards, yeah. Intel 吗
？Intel 的显卡是吧
？Intel 的显卡呢
？Intel 的显卡
没有啊？
没有。
OK。
本来就少，所以说你无法维修。
If they want to repair it, they're unable to repair because they don't have the information or the experience in dealing with that.
Okay, so there's not really any info for the Intel ones.
Not any
okay.
info, yeah.
So the test stations go through about 50 GPUs in a day, and then behind our camera here, there's a table of cards that have already gone through the repair process.
So they have all this here, and they're gonna weigh it,
wow,
and then have everything packed and ready to go.
Cool. Are most of the cards that come in local to Zhengzhou, or are they from like all over China?
从不同城市。
会寄过来，然后
对对对，全国各地。
全国各地。
对对对。
他们怎么知道你啊？他怎么认识你来，然后寄过来？
我是做互联网的嘛，做互联网的，是吧？平常像你们一样拍一些视频，他们通过视频了解到的。
然后是透过视频了解的。
对对对。
Okay, yeah, through like his channel.
Through Billy,
yeah,
I guess.
Billy.
Cool, very cool.
这边的话跟刚才他们2个做的工作是一样，就是也是维修的，这边是测试的，他
OK，
师傅修完以后在这里稍试一下，如果没问题的情况下再去拿到那边试，就这样的2个流程最少。
2个什么
？2个流程。
2 steps.
OK.
Right.
流程 steps.
也就是说，师傅在这边修完以后，不是直接到那边去测试，需要在这里简单的测试一下，没有问题。确定没问题以后，再去拿到游戏那边，是吧？高端电脑上去测试它的性能。
Okay, so after this station is done, like these guys are done with the repair, they have to like do basic testing first before it goes to the stress test, the final stage.
Do they make the 48GB 4090s here? 那个4090 48GB.
需求量还可以啊。
还可以啊。There are sometimes requests for like more than one, like 10, 20.
10 or 20
yeah.
modified ones?
Yeah, modified
wow,
ones.
Okay.
And then, so he would just take care of it. They don't need to provide any of the parts. He can finish everything.
Each station is a little bit different, but this is the one where you can see a PCB right here. So this PCB is one of the ones that they've pulled. You can see the memory and the GPU, it's all missing. So they pulled those components because they're good. They left the VRAM components, they don't really care about them, but they still keep it in case they can salvage or harvest some of the MOSFETs or expensive components on it, controllers, relatively expensive anyway, to use on other boards. But the things that really matter is the memory and the GPU, which have been pulled, and they're gonna be put on a fully custom board, such as this one right here. So that is a custom made 4090 48 gig. For the station setup, so there's a hot air station, and then a benchtop power supply, see temperature settings and adjustments, and then down here, this is a board heater, and so they can heat the board from underneath. This is a fume extractor that's been modified, and then they have, this is actually a really good flute clamp. I have one of those, or not clamp, DMM, I have one of those. And then they've got this mining riser card as well that they can use for easier testing, mounting things, and they'll use the probes for the DMM to check and make sure their new boards work, or to check for short circuits. So the most common type of failure for the boards that come through here is a short circuit of some kind, and that can also sometimes cause the GPU die to crack in the wrong conditions.
这边的就是维修台，我们的师傅
Okay.
进行维修。像这里电脑都准备好，测试修好的显卡。
Cool. So this is a schematic, I guess.
对对，有可能只坏一个电阻，可能耗你几天的时间。
Oh, really? Yeah, if it's like short circuit or it's like missing circuit.
Are these?
Wow.
Is it hard to find the schematics, the drawings, I guess you'd say, but or like
这个图叫什么？这个中文叫什么？
点位图。
点位图。
对
这个图是很难找吗？还是你们是？
这市面应该很常见的。
很常见。
新型号的可能难找，但是老型号的很常见的。
Okay, so it's pretty easy to get.
Do they ever do GPU swap? 比如说 GPU 坏的，
拆掉。
对，可以
再找个好的装上去。
在另外一个卡放的，
可以的。
听得到吗 ？Okay.
比这个简单多了，这个。
Really? That's the easy part.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is actually one of their main fixes.
Swapping
the
GPU.
GPU.
Cool.
That's what happens.
Okay, cool.
After a long time usage. Right? Like, so that's one of the things that they have to
Very cool.
face.
So down this aisle, even more if you get a wide shot repair gear. So one of the cool things I noticed was that they've actually got pretty good access to schematics, which is something that is like a really common complaint in the repair community, where they've actually got the schematics they need to make the repairs and figure out where to test for probe points for things like continuity and checking to see which component has specifically failed. And then earlier we had footage on the screen of some testing. What kinds of stuff does the software test for?
它需要侦测哪一些东西啊？就是这个
软件侦测显存是哪一个报错了。
You have to figure out which memory module is broken. So you just have to take everything out.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it can detect which one is broken.
So it's
JavaScript. So they're running some JavaScript test. Oh, okay.
像现在我们就在测，你看现在是不是？
所以这个有什么问题？
这我们就知道是哪一个显存了。这 B0，是吧？就知道准确的是哪个显存报错，我们把它换下来，有可能就好了。
So yeah, it's kind of
对，这上不是有数据吗？哈。
Yeah.
Is not working, and then they can figure out.
What's the pricing like for customers if they want to do a repair? You know, like kind of what's the price range? And because in the US, the problem is normally to fix it, it costs like just as much as to buy a new one. If there's a bad memory module on, say, a 4090 or something, and they have to put a new memory module on it, just as an example, you know, what kind of price range is that?
1,000 to 2,000 RMB.
So that's, what is it, like 1 to 8 or something, I guess? So 140美金。很划算。
是划算的哈。
Pretty good. Which is way cheaper than the cost of replacement, of course. But in the US, these types of shops are kind of hard to find. So there's a few of them out there that do GPU repair. A lot of them focus on 12-volt high power, though. And that was something we talked about as well, where he sees a lot of 12-volt high power failures come through here. So anyway, more of the same for components, so soldering mats, hot air stations, board heaters, microscopes. And then on this side, there's a pile of PCBs, point where they've already pulled the GPU off and the memory. So they've salvaged the important parts and left all the VRM components. They're not that important, they say. And so something on the PCB, could be the VRM or the PCB itself or a trace, is broken. They salvage the good parts. And then that's what this guy has done. He's already pulled the expensive components. And this looks like it might be maybe a 30 or 40 series. He's reballing it. So he's got it on a hot plate here. And then just fume extraction in front of him. It's a very manual process. And then he's going to stick that onto a new card, which I think is, if Tannen pans up here, I think it's that card on the station right in front of him. I'm pretty sure that's the recipient. And we just saw him put the memory modules on that as well. So pretty cool. Very manual process. 你做这种工作多久了？
做这个显卡维修是吧？
对，
做显卡维修应该是5年左右吧。
5年左右。
对对对。
啊、so about 5 years.
Yeah.
I guess. Cool. How did you start? 你怎么开？
你怎么开始做这个？
我以前是修电脑的，就修笔记本。因为后来2020年左右的时候，它不是矿潮嘛，都很多人是吧？那个显卡挖矿，那时候显卡就多了。
所以之前是做维修笔电。
对，以前是修笔记本。
Oh, okay.
Yeah, originally fixed computers and laptops. And
Yeah,
then,
it's mainly laptops and then
Yeah.
because of the mining.
Oh, okay.
And then you started using graphics cards.
Oh, mining 挖矿。
挖矿 yeah.
Okay, mine BTC 的对吧？
对对，后来就多了嘛，现在不是显卡越来越多，
对
就感觉到这个修显卡比这个修笔记本是吧，也没那么繁琐。所以说因为专业嘛，所以我感觉把笔记本所有的业务全停了，就只修显卡。现在都这样的。
So 5年前嘛，对不对？
对对对，你看包括这些客户发过来的，像这些，这全部各种型号，什么50、80啊，是吧？还有什么各种各样的都有，是吧？无论老啊、新啊、旧啊，都是这样的。
最常见哪种卡是什么？
最罕见的
most common card, I guess, model
That they
that they
receive.
fix. Yeah, they receive.
你们维修最多是哪一个型号？
最多的哪个型号？
哪一些型号？
最多的我感觉是3080这种显卡比较多。
3080. Okay. What's the hardest card he's ever repaired? Like personally 自己的。
你修过最难修的卡？型号是哪一？
最难的型号？
最难修的卡？
你自己修的。
我感觉没有哪个最难修啊，没有什么印象没有那么深刻。
没有卡可以难到你这样子。
不是像我们最新的一个视频里面那个卡就比较难修。
新的卡是比较难修，因为5090。
OK。
因为通常是新的卡是因为需要一点点时间去熟悉这个。
不是新卡的话，参照的资料比较少，案例也比较少。
Yeah, the newer cards because there's less information around, you know.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the biggest difference to communicate is just that in the U.S. we don't really fix electronics. You know, it's very disposable, right?
他说跟美国文化很不一样。
我们这边是吧？
对啊，因为坏掉之后买一个新的。
那边的人工成本比较高。
对，因为那边的like the labor cost is a lot more higher.
Yeah. But I think it is important, you know, to fix stuff because it's like otherwise there's a lot of waste.
Yeah.
你在这里有48GB 的4090吗？
我们可以现做。
You can make one right now.
Okay.
对，我们可以现做的。4090 48G 的，就是从24G 就是转变成48G 的过程，我可以展示给你们。
He could do the from 24 to 48 gig.
That'd be cool to see.
Right now.
Yeah.
很简单的。
可以啊。
可以吧？
可以，感谢。
来前进。
OK， 好。所以这是4090。
对，这4090 24G 的。
是的。
对。
OK。
我找一个板子，板子在哪？到放。咱们要把这个变成48G 的话，就要把这个整体给它换掉。我们只取里面的核心和显存，也就 GPU，和memory的显存嘛。取掉以后再装到另外一个板子上，我马上拿过来。
Okay.
So first they're gonna pull it apart.
They're gonna pull that apart. It's gonna just take the GPU and the
cool. Okay.
RAM.
这些是什么？
我们维修的记录。
OK。
就说这张卡原是什么故障，我们修了什么，怎么修好的。好，这是我们点开这个 GPU Z
4090
24G
GB. This is a 24GB 4090 that's been through a lot of repair steps. So if we zoom in up here, they track the repair history on the card in order. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repair steps. The board's been through a lot. It originally didn't work at all, and then they had a memory problem. They had some other problems in between here, and now it's actually working. I think that's what that OK is. And so it's functioning now, and you can see it even turns on. So it's a 4090, and it's got all 24 gigabytes detected. But because this board has been through so much, how you call it, like trauma or something from repairs, it's going to be better to harvest the expensive components and put them on a new board, so they don't have to worry about if it's just going to fail again in the future from something else.
Just gonna run a quick test.
Yeah, for Mark. Device is wow.
对对，已经到了450瓦。
What's like the success rate of the swap for them?
那你换掉的时候，那个几率高吗？就是
那个
成功率
能占到99%。
Oh, okay, wow.
对，但是就怕那个1%。
Okay. Yeah, there's still like a 1% chance.
That's really good though. I mean, yeah, that's impressive.
好，这时候我关掉吧。
Cool.
关掉以后，咱们就把它拆掉。
你所有这些的维修自己学的吗？自己？
对，自学的。
Oh, cool. Okay.
无论有没有修好的显卡，都要找这个东西装起来。
Okay. Protect it.
这个是因为防止有静电。
哦，对。
对，防止有静电。
To protect from static.
Oh, ESD. Okay. So it's protecting it from static electricity with the cover on the PCIe slot. And now we're going to go into the lab. So this is the repair lab with stacks upon stacks of GPUs. They test about 50 a day here. The next step is to get a custom PCB, because John wants to ditch the traumatized PCB, but more importantly, because it doesn't have enough pads to double the amount of memory modules on it. He needs to use a custom PCB made by local suppliers. NVIDIA doesn't make or support 48GB 4090s, but that doesn't mean that John can't make one if given the right base PCB. This comes fresh from an SMT line, just like the one we saw at Sparkle recently. In theory, they could also apply this process to 5090s in the future, although it uses different density memory and that would be more difficult to acquire. Cool.
这个就是18G 的 PCB。这拿着这个就拆一下吧。那
So I think they're going to disassemble it now. They're just showing us the PCB. It's made custom. He said you can just buy it from shops. They all have it, and he was saying they're very common here. So first is disassembly.
So 先给它打一点猪上膏。
So they're going to heat it up right now to 260 degrees Celsius. This is really similar to what we saw with EVGA. It takes about 5 minutes, and then he'll be able to pull the steaming GPU off. And Tanner, if you pan to your left, right in front of the guy, there's things on the table. Those are like basically fume hoods for the GPUs, so they size them for the specific GPU. You can see they're smaller all the way up to something that looks like maybe a 5090 size die. And then they use that to make sure they target the heat only on the area that needs it, so they're not roasting the whole rest of the board and the other components unnecessarily. All right, so now he's pulling the GPU. It's gonna happen really fast. He puts it on just a metal stand.
就咱们去取这些显存的时候都要用到了。
所以 memory.
Yeah.
So now they're using a board heater. As you can see that there's a temperature reading on the front, currently at 133 Celsius. It's going to heat the board, and then he's going to use the hot air station will be used to heat pinpointed memory modules and remove them without risking damage to other components on the board. So they keep the original memory modules, so he's going to pull these and keep them. And then they also have new modules they bought. Sounds like just from Taobao, basically, this retailer here. And they're going to add those to the board, so they can double the memory capacity. Cool. And then when they're done with this, does this board just go in that pile of boards over there? You know that pile we saw earlier? Like there's no more use for
弄完这个啊，那个这一片板子就报废吗？还是
就报废了，不用了。
Yeah.
Okay.
好了，这第一道工序就完成了。
完成。
接下来我们就把这显存核心给重做一下，放新的球。
This part is done.
Okay. So right now they have this template for the solder balls. So this guy is currently, he's cleaning it, looks like with mostly rubbing alcohol. That's a cool dispenser. So he's got, wipes it down. He's gonna pour solder balls into the template and then use that to position it on top of the memory modules. They do 8 at a time. And that'll allow them to bake the new solder balls onto the memory modules, which they can then attach to the PCB. So you can see it's actually sized for the memory modules. Looks like now he's already applied flux and he's just wetting the solder balls. Okay, so now he's using a wick. So this is a solder wick. It's just a piece of copper that basically pulls off the excess solder, so he's running that over the surface. What do 48GB cards normally cost? Like, what do they normally sell for?
如果是48GB 的卡，通常卖多少？这样子？
应该是2万多人民币。
2万多。
2万多人民币。
20,000
20,000 plus.
2,800 US. That's not bad actually. 直球，对吧？
The soldering ball.
Yeah.
刚刚那个叫什么？那个什么球？
这是气球。
气球。
气球。
对。它这个其实也叫漏网，就把它球漏到刚才咱们拖在那个上面。
Okay. So it's kind of like what we call it. It's kind of have everything kind of filter through.
Right.
现在还是有一点温度吗？还是后面才加？
后面在加热，你看他们没有？
Okay.
后面还没有通电呢。
Okay. So they're gonna add the heat now, right? That's what he said.
现在这个就是加热了。
对，这个是加热。
是要多少温度？温度是多少？
温度的话，一般调个100多度，不能太高。
Okay.
对。
Now he's adding heat, so the hot air station is currently running at 390 plus or minus degrees Celsius. He's directly applying heat to the surface, to where the solder balls are, and then he's got the memory modules themselves heated from underneath by a hot plate. So the hot plate's plugged in, that's running at 195 degrees Celsius. It's just so crazy to me how, like, there's a couple shops in the US that can do repairs, but they don't really do like this level of repair.
Okay.
But I don't know of a single shop in the US that does like the memory modding.
因为在美国顶多就是可能电源坏掉啊，或者是插头。Yeah, because labor cost is a huge issue, right? For the US, for him it's like it's worth it. For the customers, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Like just the labor cost or the service cost is not as high.
所以它需要不确定镀焊剂吗？这个
镀焊剂是吧？
上面
这不是吗？这就是。
Okay.
镀焊膏。不着急。
So next stage, at this point they've reballed all of the memory and the GPU. Now he's cleaning the surface of it to prep it to mount to a new PCB. We saw the new PCB earlier where it's a brand new custom PCB they just ordered from Taobao. It's adding flux now, and so that's gonna help it when he melts the solder to apply it to the board. Another custom, so there's a custom template, just like for the memory. He's gonna apply that to the surface. And now he's got a tray to catch the excess. And he's gonna just, yes, basically like sifting for gold or something in sand. So he's sifting it. And then carefully remove the template while leaving them all in place, and they should be held in place by the flux. So this is a jig to hold the GPU in place. I guess the question is that to protect the GPU from the heat?
日版中间那一片那个铁的那个板子啊，是用来保护那个
核心的，
是。
对，要不然的话，晶体都挨着那个。
I guess are they putting the
哎，那板子呢？
stuff
现在
on
已
the card now?
经在安装了。
可以安装了。
Okay.
可以装了的。
This is a new one. So we're at the final stage. This whole process is like about 2 hours, I guess. And now we're doing the opposite of what happened earlier in the day. So now instead of removing the GPU, he's adding the GPU. So he's very carefully positioning the GPU to precisely align the VGA. So it looks like he's starting to reach steady state on the temperature, a couple hundred degrees. Ton of bubbling going on at the edges, but they're just baking the GPU back on. So at this point in the process, the PCB has been swapped. The PCB already had all the VRAM components and the I/O populated, 12-volt high power. And now they've added new memory to the front and the back. One's got reused memory, one's got brand new, and then the GPU has been pulled and swapped and is now being remounted. And they're telling us that this is a 99% chance success. This is what Kingpin called the nervous part. Okay, so he's gonna cool it off with the fan. Do they reuse the same cooler that they took off the old board, or do they need a new cooler now?
新的，
用新的。
对，
OK
装好以后要先试一下能不能亮，不能亮还要继续修呢。
OK。
所以现在测试的吗？
对，测试看能不能成功嘛。
That's the
Oh, cool. Snapping.
moment
the-
of truth.
Moment of truth, yeah. So he's just gonna hold the heatsink on and see if it powers on. Cool. Okay, so now he's testing to see if it actually powers on after all that. It's got a green LED with displays up,
可以了。
debug up top. And he's just holding a heatsink in place because all he needs is power to see if it spits out display.
好，那么
We got display up top, so it is functional. Now it's just a question of everything detects.
I don't know.
嗯，
We're lucky. He's like usually it doesn't turn on the first time. It's a while. They know we have a train to catch.
Yeah. Does he know, do the customers who buy these, do they mostly put them in servers?
Yeah, it's like if the customer buys more like multiple units, then it's probably like,
Server, yeah. Yeah. That's why the blower fan would be better for servers because they pack them in so tight.
I was just asking if they have different choices for the cooler, and then they're like, there's only one. They don't have a choice basically.
所以这个散热器你也在淘宝买的吗？这个
对
OK
有卖。
So next step, one of the last steps in the process, since it booted and worked now, they are pulling the protective film from the thermal pads. There's a PTM, or actually that might be a paste actually, pre-applied. Looks like it was just silk screened on there. Air conditioning. Looks like it works. That'll wrap up our full tour of Zhang Ge's repair shop, aka Brother John. He has a YouTube channel and a Bilibili channel. We'll link both below. The coolest thing about shops like this is that hardware that's still perfectly good can just go right back into circulation if something simple dies, or something not simple, like the GPU itself, but that's apparently simple to Brother John. This video is because we hit a stretch goal in one of our Kickstarter style campaigns, but we also have another bonus, which is that we actually do have a 48GB RTX 4090. We're planning to do some simple testing on it, for example, against the 4090 24GB, the normal one, and things like the RTX Pro 6000 Blackwell that we have, but that'll be just for fun. We're not sure when that one will go up yet. Our huge and sincere thanks to Brother John for welcoming us into his shop. It's a phenomenal facility. They are amazingly talented at what they do. And also a thanks to Raymond for providing the on-site real-time translation assistance. Anyway, that's it for this one. Subscribe for more as always. Go to store.gamersnexus.net if you'd like to help fund this type of content directly. Stuff's obviously very expensive to produce because it's overseas. But fortunately, this one was funded by the audience, as all of our travel content is. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.